Do not create that toxic environment. Stay away from this kind of people. Stay away from this gender. Guys are welcome. Marriage is going to ruin your career. Marriage is going to ruin you. Marriage is going to ruin your life. So guys are welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, this is your girl Kenyan in Germany. Guys, we are making a late dinner again. I came back from work. I will be working tomorrow, guys, and I'm feeling so tired, but we have to cook. That's why we're in the kitchen, but I'm not complaining. But that is like kind of like the topic of the day, like what we're going to be talking about today. And yeah, like we women doing the most and all that. Today's discussion, as you can see by the topic, is why most marriages, relationships actually fail once most couples move into diaspora, especially African couples, like coming into diaspora and like getting divorced, guys. So where do we start? Let's start by cutting our bread. You guys, we bought this bread, ate half of it like the last 2 days, and because you're not going to make it like eating all of it, because I'll be working tomorrow, and once I start working, like we hardly have breakfast. Sometimes my husband does and me, I don't. Okay, so the first point about this topic, guys, is about the feminine energy. Is that the right word? Feminine energy. You guys, we women tend to become more independent once we move abroad, because we actually want to prove something to people, especially if we come from a certain backgrounds. Like, you know, you just want to get more education, you want to achieve things, achieve goals, like become a babe lady boss. Okay, so we are all about our feminine energy. We are doing so much, like more than maybe the society wants us to do. I don't know about that, but I guess that's what we're doing. We've actually seen a lot of ladies you know, achieve a lot more than their partners once they move abroad, guys. Bread is getting harder, and so are some marriages out here in the diaspora, guys. So we have actually women like being the bosses at home, like saying everything that needs to be done at home. The husband is not in that position to actually tell her what to do. And so that feminine energy, you know, maybe Europe or America actually makes us who we are or who we become. Like, talk about something like me looking for an apartment, especially in Germany. You guys know, if you move into an apartment in Germany, mostly they do not have things like kitchens, they do not have like wardrobes, they do not have like clothes cupboards, whatever you call that. So comes in some shops like IKEA, where you actually buy your things in boxes, which means you have to actually do things from zero. Like, I have to make my own cupboard, like I have to read those instructions and actually do like my own, you know, cupboard or something. Okay, so what I'm saying is we also have a lot of women like going out there looking for jobs by themselves and getting the jobs. We have women actually doing a lot of things, like a lot of appointments, doctor's appointments, like a lot of appointments, guys, like visa appointments and all those things. So we have women, like Europe is actually turning these women into more independent people as compared to what they were before. I don't blame Africa. it's more developed out here, and so is Africa also, guys. We're not going to deny that. So the next thing we want to say is that women who actually have that chance of coming to Europe first, especially, or maybe to these first world countries, most of them actually end up bringing their partners, husbands, families to Europe, to diaspora, and they have been to so many things, have become different people. Okay, they have become different people. So these women actually end up like, you know, doing a lot of things for their partners, especially when it comes to like appointments, guys. Like I talked about the first point. So these husbands are so afraid of their wives because they have that feeling that the wife like knows a lot, you know. She came here first, she can speak the language better than I can do, and so I'm going to trust her with everything that is about our marriage. And so that is how it ends up being. So women actually have more saying than the husbands abroad because they know how to maneuver around. And so is it when it comes to booking for holidays, traveling to different countries. Like the wife is the core of the everything. Okay, like she decides where we're going for holiday, where to book, how to book the flight and all that. And in these situations, like point 1 and point 2, guys, we actually have cases where women actually end up divorcing their husbands because they think they are so weak, okay? Like it's a weak gender kind of. That's what I think. Let me know what you think, guys. Then we have another point, which is in Europe, Germany especially, we actually have countries, especially in Europe, like I said, where women actually have more rights than men. Like if you think you've been beating your wife back in Africa and you can come here and start beating her or continue beating her, you can forget about, because Europe, women have more rights. In fact, they have places where they called, in Germany they call it Kindermutterhaus or something, where abused domestic violence or abused women actually can go to stay with their kids. So women have more rights here than men, guys. And one thing that's worldwide like the same is when men suffer from domestic violence, there is like no one to fight for them, guys. So if you come here with your partner, your wife, make sure you humble yourself. As an African brother, if you're used to shouting and fighting your wife and all that, or your partner, make sure you become a different person once you come to Germany, guys. Women who actually make it more than the husbands become more disrespectful to their partners, okay? Like you find women here making it bigger and better than the husbands, because once they're more courageous and, you know, they actually groom themselves to look better, and that way they have better chances than their husbands. So the husband actually ends up maybe getting the cheap labor jobs, and so the money is very little what he is earning. And so the wife has maybe 2 jobs, or I don't know how many, or whatever she does, but she's earning more than the husband. So there is that time that comes when the wife thinks, oh, this guy is earning much less money than me, so why should I be with you? So they end up divorcing their husbands or partners, and you know, she's that Miss Independent. She ends up doing things on her own, especially if she's like maybe the boss at her workplace. If she has a big company where she like has the say, the boss lady. So at home she also wants someone who is earning more, guys, okay? And the topic of gender equality, I don't know if it's like the right explanation, but by this I mean when I come to Europe with my husband and kids, like African family, and I'm earning more as a wife, like the roles do change. Like sometimes the husband is earning less, so I actually end up working more than my husband, and my husband ends up staying at home because he's not working. Like he's working, but he's not earning more money that I'm doing. Okay, people who earn more money end up working, and people who earn less money end up staying at home. So you have something called dry spell, and by this I mean you guys know African men are so much into some things, and so once they move abroad, if your wife is working, if you're working and you're working shifts, like your wife is working night shift, you're working day shift, you actually come in and your wife is going, or vice versa. So you guys rarely see each other or like have that quality time together. So the more you work, the more you actually distance yourself from your wife, your husband. So unless you are at that point, or you have that mind of making your own time, like regardless of how much you guys are working, you need to find time for you both. So make sure you get time for you two and plan dates, plan quality time for both of you. Otherwise the dry spell is going to kill you, and you're going to end up maybe having your job wife, your job husband, whatever they call that. And then the next point that we have is poverty back home, guys. If you come from a not well up family, like maybe a poor family, where you are the breadwinner of the family here abroad for the family back home, it's going to be very hard and difficult if you actually have someone who comes from a well-off family, who does not understand why you're sending money back to Africa, even though we have problems here. Like we need groceries, we need to go on a vacation, we actually need to, you know, buy this and that, we are paying mortgage, we need to pay this for our kids and all that. So if you have that one partner, and not only Africa, so many countries, guys, have people here who are breadwinners of their families, and so you need someone who is understanding, someone who actually knows what it is like to grow up in poverty, to have siblings who need money and all that. Otherwise you're going to be arguing, and if you're not lucky, your marriage is going to end because of some of these reasons, guys. So be careful who you marry, and if you have such situations or such circumstances, make sure you speak this with your partner, like, you know, clear things up, like tell her or him this is how it is, people back home need me, or they need money and all that, you know. And after all, guys, I hope you're also earning money yourself, okay? So you just don't want to be sending people money that is not your money. Having your own money means you have that security, you have that courage, you have that power of deciding what to do with your money, okay? But you cannot be deciding on what to do with people's money. Please. Then we have something called pressure or lifestyle. By this I mean the system, especially in these first world countries. The system is built in such a way where you're always like paying bills. Like it's meant for you to actually only be paying bills. Like this system is not built in like that family oriented environment. They want people to work hard, to be engineers, to pay bills, to pay taxes and all that, but not to get married. And we actually have people, we have especially men in Europe, Germany, you know, they are so hardworking, they are so rich. Most of these people, they are single, don't forget about this. They have actually big careers, they are bosses, they have big cars, big houses, investments and all that, going on expensive holidays, but they are single. And single does not mean they're not dating. They actually have partners, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, I don't know, but they're actually brought up in this society where they're told you're not allowed to marry, because if you get a wife, if you get kids and family, it's going to ruin you, it's going to ruin your career. So stay away from this kind of people, stay away from this gender. Like, do not let them fix you, okay? Do not let them get so much into your life that they're in that position of deciding what you are supposed to be doing, like when to go to work, when to go on a holiday, when to go to groceries and all that. So they're actually brainwashed, should I say that? If you live in Germany watching this, please let me know, because that's what I think. These people are totally brainwashed into thinking marriage is going to ruin your career, marriage is going to ruin you, marriage is going to ruin your life. So stay single, date 1 or 2 ladies. Sometimes, like, if you're bored, you can go out with them. If you're going on a holiday, you can meet that other lady somewhere, but do not get yourself attached to this, because you're going to lose you as a worker, as a big engineer, as a big doctor, as a big physician, as a big, you know. Please let me know. I know so many people who actually live this kind of life. They're old enough to get married, they're old enough to do so many things, but they're married to their jobs. Let's just put it that way. So guys, then we have something called mental illnesses, okay? Like, we do have a lot of people working in jobs that actually making them mentally sick, okay? Because the jobs are so demanding and all that, like bad working conditions, bad working environments and all that. So if you have those kind of jobs, if you're working these kind of jobs, you actually need someone who is emotionally supportive. You actually need someone who, when you come back home from work, someone who is there to listen to you. Like, I know we do, especially nurses, like, this happened to work. I know it's loud and annoying, but you sometimes actually need someone who is listening to you, like giving you a shoulder to cry on, like giving you that space when you need it. Like, if you say I want to take a nap, like, that's someone who actually lets you take a nap. Like, have your own time. If you need maybe a glass of wine, if you need a glass of water, if you need maybe a walk, whatever makes you happy, guys. So mental illness, especially in Europe, depression, all that is so real, and so the statistics are actually higher than they were before, because it's not easy, guys. Ask me. I work in a nursing industry, and I'm going to tell you how it is. You guys, I also don't need, just check out my other videos. You're going to see what I talk about Germany, okay? So mental illness, mental health, very important. Take a break if you want to. Take a break if you have to. Do not let your work environment control you. Do not let, like, people decide when to laugh and when to cry. Just make sure you have your life under your own control. And you guys know we have those sisters and brothers who are actually not that strong, like they're not strong enough to make these decisions on their own. So make sure you take care of them. If you're working somewhere, do not bully people at work. Please make sure you actually give people a shoulder to cry on at work. I'm not saying you're going to be like, you should be a babysitter to your co-workers or something, but do not create that toxic environment for people to work in. Like, if you know you are the boss, make sure you create a good working environment for you and your colleagues. Make sure whatever you sing to people as compliments, negative compliments especially, they affect people the most. You guys might think you're saying something to someone out of a joke, but it ends up hurting them like the most. Like, they cannot get this, whatever I told them years back, out of their mind. So whether it's abroad or back home, make sure you do not create a toxic working environment for people, because it's affecting people. Life is hard enough. We got things to do, like paying bills and all that. So yeah. Anyway, infidelity. Let's talk about infidelity. And by infidelity, I mean, guys, we do have our brothers from Africa who are actually used to having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relationships. And so once they move to Europe or to the diaspora, like, things are so different for them, guys. You know, they feel so different as far as life is concerned, because they're not used to this kind of controlling lifestyle. Okay, so plus you also have men from Africa who are actually polygamous. You know, men are polygamous naturally, whether they are black, white, red, green, yellow, Asian, I don't know what culture. Men are naturally polygamous, but we have men from Africa who actually have a 1 wife or more, 2 wives or more. And so they think coming back to Europe, they're actually going to continue whatever they actually do in Africa. That's not the case, because most governments, most rules and regulations here do not allow, most policies, I don't know what that's the right word, but they do not allow polygamous in some countries. So if you want to have 10 wives, just stay in Africa. And if you want to be in Europe, just like, you know, have that life, European life, just make sure you actually do as per the rules and regulations. Otherwise, they're going to deport you guys. And when they deport you, you're crying like a small kid. They're deporting you because you're misbehaving. So make sure you subscribe for more videos. So then we have people actually getting married at very young age or at very younger ages. We have actually people in their 20s or in their teens getting married, and once these people actually move to the diaspora, maybe they want a green card to the US or they came to Europe, these people actually come mostly with their partners and all that, and or maybe they meet their partners here. So these people, especially ladies, you know, they're young, they're teens, they're in their 20s and all that, they're married, they do not have mostly college degree, some do have, but we find that these people end up asking themselves, especially if they're actually growing up more in these European communities where a woman is more into career, into working, and not being at home and having kids and all that, and being like a housewife. So these people actually end up divorcing their partners because they want to further their education, they want to be in the working industry, they want to be seen as a women and no longer as these housewives and, you know, those teenage girls who have kids and all that. So if you marry someone in their early ages, you might end up getting divorced, because in future you do have very different, like what do you call it, aesthetics. You have very different views, you have very different perspectives concerning life, concerning, like, you know, marriage, partnership and all that. So these people are going to leave you behind. They're going to marry someone maybe mostly their age, because they do not want to stay with that grandpa that married them back then because he had money. Now they're into that working career, working class, they're going to uni, doing degrees and all that. You know, they want to identify themselves with their own names and not like wife of, you know what I mean, guys? You married them because they were poor and young, because you had money or a title, or, you know, and now you come here with them, or they're here, they want to be different kind of people. That's what I'm talking about. You might end up marrying someone who is so much into papers, documents, visa, green card, whatever you call it. So if you marry that kind of a person, especially if you're black, like African, with your African documents, you know, you bring your wife, your husband to this country, and they're like, wasting my time. It's taking us so long to get the papers. I need that freedom of having German passport, of having an American visa, you know. So these people are going to opt for easier solutions. There are so many ways, guys. And ladies, we know ladies might end up actually looking for people with green cards, people with German visas, passports and all that, nationality to actually marry, because this way they can speed up their process of getting the documents, guys. Okay, so if you're there, my African brother, you're taking 100 years to work towards your documents, your visa and all that, she's going to marry someone else. And this way she's going to speed up her own visa problems and all that, whatever you call it, okay? Then one big problem that we also have as Africans is the fact that most of us, guys, most of black people, I know we can never admit this, but we have a lot of black people who actually, I don't know if this should be called racist, but we have black people, dark-skinned people, African people who are so much into having white kids, guys, okay? Like they'll rather marry a white person for kids, like to have white-skinned kids, than to marry their African sisters or brothers. Guys, I've seen so many of those, especially our YouTubers, guys. We have so many of those. For them, love does not matter. They don't care if they marry you or if they love you or not. They're going to get someone who has a different skin color because they want different skin colored babies. The white babies, the cappuccino babies, guys. You know, because for them white is beautiful. And don't come for me because so guys, we're going to continue cooking, and then I'm going to see you on the next video, guys. I hope this video was not that long. I hope it was not, but I guess it was. I don't know. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm hoping to post it actually today. I don't know what day we have as you watch this video, but guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to be doing a cooking video here. I do not know when you get to watch this, guys, but whenever you get to watch it, please give it a big thumbs up, like, comment down below, like, share my videos, and best of all, guys, subscribe to this channel, and also subscribe to my cooking channel because we're doing cooking videos over there, guys. So I'm going to see you on the next one. Have a nice time. Bye. Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt